Arrow Video brings to 4K, UHD, HDR Blu-ray 1973's Torso! Original title is something along the lines of the English translation would be The Bodies Bore Traces of Carnal Violence, which is harder to fit on a marquee or in a print ad, especially if you're paying by the letter. So it was released in America as Torso! And I say it that way because it has this kind of iconic trailer where this announcer sort of almost yells that word and the logo comes up and goes BWOW! And strangely, annoyingly, that trailer is not on this package, which is like the only thing I have negative to say about this 4K release of Torso. Directed by Sergio Martino, starring Suzy, Kendall, and Luke Merenda. It is produced by Carlo Ponti, which I always loved the fact that Sophia Loren's husband produced a film as sleazy as Torso. Music by Guido and Maurizio De Angelis. Excellent score. If you know the De Angelis brothers, they scored so many movies in the 70s into the 60s, maybe even 70s, certainly 70s, predominantly into the 80s in Italy, all sorts of different styles. They scored the Terence Hill and Bud Spencer movies and spaghetti, I think they did spaghetti westerns, crime films and giallo films. And I'll break down what's on this. The basic movie is this. Someone is killing female students at a college and a private villa in Italy. It's like an international school of women from all over the world. They're all in their 20s, and some masked, gloved killer is killing them off in gruesome ways. And it's just basically that. Who will survive and what will be left of them. Very stylish movie, very cool sequences. The last section of the movie, star Suzy, Kendall is, not to give anything away, is alone in this remote villa with a house full of dead people. Somehow the killer missed her, and it's how does she stay alive and not tip the killer off that she's there. Incredibly tense and creepy. There's some really gruesome moments in this film, and it's just a really great giallo, basically. Great 70s Italian horror movie with as I would say, stylish. The clothes, the cars, the locations, the music, it's got it all going on. The transfer looks phenomenal. This was previously released on a Blu-ray from Arrow. I'm always on the fence. I don't think my setup is lacking in anything. I've got a pretty sizable 4K TV, 4K Blu-ray player. I don't always see a gigantic difference. I think the 4K player upscales most discs as best it can anyway, so I'm not seeing a gigantic difference. But if you are somebody who does know that 4K looks a lot sharper on your system, certainly 4K, just basic technical definition, is going to be sharper than a Blu-ray. This is the same contents as the previous Blu-ray edition from Arrow. It's just 4K. So it's always funny when I go to re-review something like this that I reviewed. I guess the original Blu-ray from Arrow came out in 2018. If you look on YouTube somewhere, you will see me talking about that in 2018. It's always weird to get it on 4K if there's no other extras. I just feel like I'm saying it looks as great as it did last time, but sharper. So as far as picture quality, I'm going to say that it looks phenomenal. If you don't already own this, if you have a 4K player, certainly get this one. If you have the previous version, it's a matter of whether you want to upgrade the picture quality because the extras are all the same. Extras, so here, you get the original Italian version of the film with the corpse title is 93 minutes. And the original Italian audio and anything that's on camera that should be, read is in Italian in this version. You get the hybrid English-Italian version that is 90 minutes, which basically takes out everything that was removed from it's 93 minutes. My eyes don't see so good. The hybrid English-Italian version basically uses the English dub on the Italian version, except for any sequences that were taken out for the English version, in which case it reverts back to Italian audio with English subtitles. You get the English export version that's 90 minutes, and it was just called Carnal Violence, which is a very genteel title. So it's 3 minutes shorter. And you get, what do we have? We have a commentary by Kat Ellinger, which is great because she's great and she literally wrote the book on Sergio Martino. All the Colors of Terror, a 34-minute interview with Sergio Martino that's very interesting. You get The Discreet Charm of the Genre, an interview with actor Luke Merenda, which is very cool. That's 35 minutes. You get Dial S for Suspense, interview with co-writer Ernesto Gastaldi, which is very interesting. And it's about like a lot of his career, not just Torso or Carnal Violence, or The Bodies Bore Traces of Carnal Violence. You get Women in Blood, an interview with Federica Martino, who's a filmmaker and daughter of Sergio Martino. That's really interesting. She talks a lot about a remake of Torso that she was working on at the time and how she wanted to do it differently and what you could and couldn't do, her memories of the film itself, and the fact that she went to NYU Film School with Eli Roth, which is kind of amusing. You get Saturating the Screen interview with Michael J. Coven, author of La Dolce Morte, Vernacular Cinema, and the Italian Giallo film. He's a Canadian film professor. That's 25 minutes long. You get Sergio Martino Live. It's a Q&A from a torso screening with at the Abattoir International Horror Film Festival in 2017. That's 47 minutes long, and that's very interesting. You get the alternate titles for the film with the torso title. That was it's sort of a compilation of a VHS source and the only surviving US print, so it doesn't look that great at all times. That's 4 minutes. You get the Italian trailer that's 3 minutes, and you get the English trailer that's 3 minutes, which is the export carnal violence version, which basically is the same as the Italian trailer, except the words carnal violence come up instead of the Italian title. And yeah, disappointingly, unless I missed it somehow or it's an Easter egg, the original Torso trailer is not on here, but you can find that online. Available on 4K UHD from Arrow Video is 1973's Giallo classic. Pretty edgy film. Torso.